From TDO Studios in Portland, Oregon, welcome to The Dangerous Ones.
The shots been fired, but the war ain't won. These white boys with money better learn how to run. The wall hits your back, the blood's on your tongue. You and me, baby, we're the dangerous one.
Welcome, everybody, to another Sunday edition of The Dangerous Ones, where we focus on just your calls from the People's Hotline. I'm your host, Jim Drastic, and as always, I'm joined by co-founder of 11 Films, Tiffany Drastic.
Hey,
Hello,
everybody.
Tiffany.
Thank you.
Yeah. And to my right, Executive Director of DemCast USA, Nick Knudsen, everyone.
Hey.
Thank you.
Nick Knudsen. So, some more voicemails. That's going to be great.
Yeah, it is pretty great.
We were talking a little bit about, like, what should we banter about before the show, at the beginning of the show.
Right.
And we were laughing because it's like, we don't really have a life anymore outside of this show.
What do you mean? Do when?
Yeah,
We're
what
always
do
here.
It's true.
we leave here so late. We were laughing because we leave here so late. Tiff and I get home usually about 9 or something in there. And we don't want to cook. But we don't want something cold.
Dude, if I have another salad, I can't.
Yeah. I don't want a cold sandwich. You want something warm when you get home,
Yeah.
So we generally eat out, and it's always the same 4 fucking restaurants. It's usually Chipotle, McDonald's, Wendy's, or this Chinese place that we really like.
Yeah, and they're usually closed because it's so late by the time we
Oh
get
my
home.
God. So we've
Only
been
the box shit is open,
we've been eating terribly, What about you, Nick?
Horrible.
I ate great.
Yeah, you do great, huh? Yeah, well,
Well,
yeah.
I'm like, what'd you eat today? He goes, I had 3 almonds yesterday. Like, you're like an almond dad.
I have to. You guys are. Your kids are out.
Yeah.
You're empty
Mhm.
nesters.
Yeah.
I still have to cook for my kids at
Oh,
night.
right.
So
Oh, yeah,
I'm
right.
trying to at least pretend to provide them sustenance.
Right.
They'll actually make them healthy adults.
Are you a good cook?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like to cook? What are you good at?
I make a mean, and we should do this sometime.
Yeah.
I make a mean scratch enchilada
Ooh.
recipe. Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
God,
Yeah.
that sounds amazing.
Homemade sauce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Tiffany has done those as well, and they're fantastic. Yeah. Did you do the Spanish rice in it and the whole thing? Or
Oh, my
okay.
God, that sounds amazing.
Gang, 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 gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds good. I'm usually a spaghetti guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
You're
a
a pasta guy.
pasta guy.
Yeah, my son is like he would eat pasta or pizza literally every single meal.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
every day. Yeah.
When I met Tiffany and Tiffany's daughter, they like pasta with nothing on it.
Nothing on it.
Nothing.
Just a little bit of flake salt and maybe some Parmesan if you can
And some
get
butter.
it. But like the shitty Parmesan too, not the good kind, like the Kraft's shelf stable, really like gritty teeth. Oh my God. In the noodles with the salt. That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
They
That's
don't
it.
even like.
Nope.
I mean,
To
she
this
will.
day, she does not like sauce. She'll
Wow.
eat it, but she's like,
That's different. But butter's in there
sometimes.
sometimes.
Yes.
Wow.
Sometimes
Just
it's olive oil.
Wow.
I know.
I'm like,
yeah,
Since I was a
geez.
kid. And
Yeah.
then I gave it to her and now she's like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Her
Okay.
daughter's going to be like that too.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's been the weirdest thing, but you're right. We don't cook for anybody anymore. So
Yeah.
it's we get home and it's like, well, we don't, and there's only 2 of us. It's been the weirdest adjustment cooking for 4 to now cooking for 2.
It's
Totally.
weird. Like
Yeah,
we made
I
this.
can imagine.
We made this great grocery run like we always do. And then something happened. We're never at home. And so all this food started going bad. And then I was getting mad
Yeah.
because what's the
And
point
it's
of
super
that?
expensive now.
Yeah,
Right.
like, oh my God, nothing better than like grabbing that avocado and just squishes in your hand. You're like,
Mm.
I've just been waiting to use it. I'm
Right.
finally home. I'm going to have some avocado toast. No, you're not.
No, you're
not.
You're going to
Yeah,
have
no.
dry fucking toast.
No,
That's what you're
that
getting.
is some brown goop right now.
Yeah, no.
You're not eating that.
Oh, isn't that true? But yeah, so it's been getting home so late. We've been noticing our diets are going straight to hell.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
bad.
But it's worth it. But today we're going to focus again on the People's Hotline,
Yes, sir.
everybody's calls, and Tiffany, who is first?
The first one we have is Drew from St. Louis. And this is sort of capstoning all of the stories that we've been hearing this week
Yeah.
with people's health care and their Medicare and their Social Security threatened. So this is a little bit more of that.
Okay.
Hey guys, this is Drew from St. Louis. I heard you all, saw you all on the Jesse Gallimore podcast, so I checked you out, and I like what you're doing, and I want to say thank you for all that you're putting out there. I wanted to talk about Medicaid and how a lot of the people on the right think that, you know, everybody on Medicaid is just a bunch of pieces of shit that just don't want to work and make up a bunch of stuff. There's always going to be people who are trying to take advantage of whatever, but I'll use myself as an example. I had worked for 18 years for a plant, and it was a union plant, and I had gone in to see the doctor about a year and a half ago, and the doctor called me back in for a blood test, and comes in and he said, "You have leukemia. You have acute lymphomic leukemia," and he said you have to go to the hospital for 30 days tonight. And that's the oh shit meter right there. People ask me about the cancer and stuff. I said, if they want to see you in 2 weeks, it's, you know, whatever. But if you got to go immediately,
Oh my
shit.
God.
But anyways, I did that, and I had to get on FMLA. And then I was going in once every 3 weeks for a full week. And I was trying to see if I could get back into work to restart all my stuff. And I could not do that because of my chemo. They don't mess around. They light your ass up with that, which is good, but all your other plans are put on hold pretty much. So I did that, and I lost my short-term disability after that too. And then I lost they took my insurance away from my company. And it's one thing I don't like about having insurance through your workplace is because they can use it as leverage on you. Because I went back to work to get my insurance back after 3 months, on Cobra, which cost me, my wife, and my son
Oh my God.
$10,000 total to get
$10,000.
it back. So I went back to work, and I did 6 months of work, and it was very obvious that I was not going to be able to work and continue with the maintenance that I have to do. I'm in full remission right now, and I'm doing the maintenance, but I'm basically on call for every blood test that I do. I have to do 2 a week, and I was doing that for 6 months after work, driving into the city to get the blood work done. And then the doctor would say, "Oh, your white count's super low, so you need to come in tomorrow and get a shot," you know, and then the next day and get a shot. And my HR was not working with me at all on any of the stuff, you know. So I put in for Social Security disability and Medicaid, and I got it, and I got put in on that or whatever. And it was a very easy decision because they say 80% chance that this cancer will come back. But if you do the 2 or 3 years of maintenance, then it switches to 10 to 20% chance it'll come back. So it's a very easy decision to make. But I'm at kind of a loss here with, you know, they're going to pull Medicaid or take that away. I mean, I'm far enough in my maintenance that I think I'll be okay. In June, I'm eligible for Medicare, and I don't know whether they're going to mess with that or not, but I can get into that. But there's a lot of people that'd be a death sentence for them because they are starting up their, you know, hospital stays in their chemos and stuff, and that stuff is expensive, and you're not going to get it if the hospital's not going to get their money for it. So there's a ton of people in that position, and you know, people really don't know or don't care until it happens to them, you know, and I really don't understand that. I'm just glad I'm not one of those people, because how miserable do you have to be of a person to not care about anything unless it affects your little bubble? Thanks for all you do, guys. Bye.
Wow. That's
Just devastating.
My goodness, Drew. And you know, when I was listening to him, and I'm not comparing anything, but I broke my arm and I broke my hip, and I have to get surgery done, and I got one of them done. I got to get another one done, and there's there's stuff you got to do to recover from just doing that, and that was hard enough. I mean, when he's talking about like you got to go in for 2 weeks right away. First of all, hey boy, I bet you when you get that news and they're like, no, you need to come in tonight, sir,
right,
and stay for 2 weeks. He's like, that's the oh shit moment, you know.
Yeah.
But I can only imagine how hard it is to continue to do the therapies afterwards and whatnot. And it just sounds, I bet it just completely disrupts your life. And he was like, he asked, he goes, are they going to, start messing with this stuff? And my answer is, yeah, they're going to mess with all of that. They want all of it. They don't want you to have any of that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to pay for that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to have any of that. Anybody who can hear my voice right now, they don't want you to have that. Donald Trump and his administration is going to do everything in their power to take all of it away from you if they can.
Yeah, they are.
That is just so that's how we got to fight back. We got to fight back. So, what are your guys' thoughts on Drew's call? I mean, there's so much to unpack there.
Go ahead.
It's I was struck by his comment about why don't people only care about this issue if it impacts their immediate bubble, and like that's a problem. That we've strayed as a country away from the idea that we're all in this together and we're all lifted up if we're all taken care of. And like his company was trying to like screwing with him. His HR wasn't working with him on having to go get these shots. He's like, I'm going to fucking die.
Yeah.
If I don't, like 80% versus 20%. It's like, this is it was an easy decision for him to stop being employed, which he would have preferred because his employer was not allowing him to go and get the care that he needed.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a better decision for him to go on taxpayer funded healthcare, which I will just say again, like, I'm happy to chip in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, I'll pay it forever.
I don't even think about
Fine.
it.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like that's part of like being in a society is
yes.
we are there to take care of each other.
Yes.
And God,
yeah,
it's just when you go through all of that, and he's saying to his HR, look, I have this cancer. Yes, I'm in remission, but I have to get all of these tests. So I go to the city to get these tests. It's not going to interfere with anything. But I don't know what the test is going to be like when it comes back. And then now they're saying, I have to go in tomorrow for a shot. Well, I have to take time off work. And now you're going to be a dick.
Right.
Just the lack of humanity in anyone in HR.
Yeah.
That should be a prerequisite of even getting that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Human resources?
Yeah.
And you're not going to give a shit about this cancer patient who needs to go?
Yeah.
It was so bad that he had to pay for Cobra at $10,000?
Yeah. Cobra's such a joke.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's basically just pay the full amount for your health care.
Yeah. Right.
Which is astronomical.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you find out in that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
right.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with you, Nick. And obviously I know you feel the same way, Tiffany. I have said my whole life that I do not care listen, you pay the 0.0000.1 cent for me to get my hip replaced, and I'll pay the 0.00001%, 1 penny to get your leukemia taken care of. Like, we're all supposed to take care of each other. And here's the other thing. We are a stronger nation. We are a stronger population in this country if we are healthier.
Yeah.
If we're healthier, we're stronger. We can compete better against the world. It makes sense for us to all take care of each other. We all pitch in for the roads. Right? We all drive on the roads. We all like the roads.
Yep.
But we should all want each other. We shouldn't want our neighbors to go bankrupt because they got hit with listen, and by the way, he doesn't know for sure if he got leukemia because of the plant. Well, he didn't say that.
Right.
We don't know, and it doesn't matter. He has it. Let's take care of him.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why it's so radical of an idea that we take care of each other and the rich pay more or equal to what we're paying.
Yeah.
So that everyone can show up to work healthy, rested, ready to do the job for you at a fair pay and some time off every once and again. And maybe I can send my kid to college and get a car when mine dies or something. It's not, these ideas are not radical at all.
I can guarantee you that the CEO and the shareholders of whatever company that Drew works for are not concerned about whether or not they're going to be able to afford their leukemia treatment.
Yeah.
No, and it probably doesn't even pay for the dinghy on the yacht.
Right.
For what his medical bills are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm a firm believer, and you will always hear me on this show advocating for universal health care. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's what we should be doing. I don't know. We should all have health care for free. If you got something wrong with you, we should be able to go to the doctor. If there's a drug that can get you to make you better, we should be able to get it for you. You know what I mean? And I also think all of the drugs should be for free too. That's what I believe. Yep. And I'm willing to pay my little fair share. Even if I was healthy my whole life and never had a problem, I would still be like, yeah, fine. But I live in a stronger country because we're all healthy.
Yeah. And they just act like there's not people alive long enough who remember $4 everything. It was a $4 copay. It was a $4 pharmaceutical. It didn't matter what it was. You had to go to the hospital $4 and my job just paid the rest.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have a job, there were services for you to be able to access healthcare. And now it's like, everyone just acts like I'm an entitled brat because I don't want to pay $4,000 when I cut my finger on an avocado.
Yeah. Right. Real quick, in my mid-30s, my life blew up a little bit. And the greatest healthcare I ever had in my entire life was called the Oregon Health Plan. And it was for people who,
lives blow up.
Their life blew up, and it took care of literally everything. It paid for everything because Oregon said to themselves as a state, we're going to take care of our population because we're a better state if we do so. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so thank you so much for the call, Drew. It was fantastic. Drew. And he mentioned something else really quick. Thank you to Jesse Dollamore for sending these amazing folks our way because they have just been some of the greatest supporters of the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse Dollamore.
The best humans on earth. Just so warm and so welcoming. Really. Thank you, guys.
And I Drew, please call back and let us know how you're doing and let us know let us know how things are going.
Absolutely.
He did call back, but I'm going to play that later.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, well. You're ahead.
Thanks, Drew, in advance.
Tiffany, who's next?
The next call is anonymous from Nevada.
Okay.
And she has some tips on how we can maybe get through the time before the midterms.
Okay, great.
Hi, I'm from Nevada, and I want to remain anonymous. I see a lot of folks saying we have to wait until midterms to vote these Congress people out, but we don't have to wait that long. We have special elections in Florida and New York that can change the House majority. New York hasn't announced their election date yet, but Gay Valamont in Florida District 1 and Josh Wheel in Florida District 6 are running to fill those empty House seats. April 1st is the election in Florida, so please donate to their campaign or volunteer to phone bank. Or if you live in those districts, you can help knock doors. This is our last chance to try to put a check on Trump until the midterms. So if you're feeling hopeless and lost, this is something you can do. I don't care if they're red districts. I don't care. We have to do everything we can, even if it's a long shot. That's it. Thank you so much.
I'm going to pass this one over to Nick, but I would say I cannot agree more with what she just said. Regardless, if you feel like we got a snowball's chance in hell in those districts, we've got to do everything we can. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Well, special elections are all about turnout, and they can be the most. They can have the most change in terms of electoral outcomes of any kind of election. So you never want to say never. They are like R plus 30 districts in terms of like point spread over Democrats. But even if we put up a good fight and cut that margin, that expected margin down by 15 points or something like that, that sends a message. So even if it doesn't end up being a win and we don't flip the House, having a strong showing in these special elections can send a message to Republicans across the country, particularly Republicans in swing districts, that people are paying attention and they're pissed. So 100% jump in, help where you can. The other election that's also on April 1st that I would highlight is the Wisconsin Supreme Court special election.
Yeah.
Susan Crawford is running as on the sort of liberal side against a conservative judge. And this election will decide. Currently, it's a Democratic or liberal majority on the court. And if this were to flip, if this current seat that Susan Crawford's running for was a liberal held seat, so if it flips to the Republican, it would flip the court, and that would drastically impact Wisconsin's legislative maps and all kinds of stuff within the state, which could end up in the future determining the balance of the House of Representatives, for example. So the Supreme Court races are really, really important, as we talked about on the Wiley Nickel episode.
That's right.
So jump in on the Susan Crawford race as well as the ones that Anonymous from Nevada was mentioning.
Yes. Some things are seed planting missions.
Yep.
Maybe that's what these smaller races are.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think what Anonymous from Nevada is also kind of getting at is a little bit of where Bernie Sanders was when he likes to talk a lot about a 50-state strategy, and I just couldn't agree more. I understand. Sometimes, I think Democrats cut their losses a little too early. And I think that we should be attacking things even when we maybe don't have a chance to win, because over time, we will have a chance to win. And so I can't agree more with Anonymous from Nevada. And I hope everybody who just heard her call goes, we'll put the websites into the description. So if people want to go check out those candidates and donate to those causes, they can, and help out those campaigns, because she's right. If all of those were to turn our way, we would flip the House. Is that right, Nick? I mean, would those flip the House? I think that's about right.
If Democrats pulled off the two in Florida and the one in New York, then it would flip the House.
Yeah. That's why we have you here. You're our stat guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Speaker Jeffries sounds mighty nice right now.
Yeah.
It's a long shot, but it sounds nice.
Yeah. And so I encourage people to do so. I'm going to do it myself, and let's do everything we can, because we've seen what happens when people just really don't get involved.
Yeah. Come on, you guys.
It's called we lose.
That for 100% sure doesn't work.
Yeah.
We're living it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
We're living it right now.
And I would also say to folks, go to your Substack, go to our Substack, tealandorangereport.com. Tiffany has a piece on there right now about what happens when we don't get involved. Tiffany, you want to talk just briefly about that?
Apathy is not your friend. We are living it in real time right now. And I didn't realize how much I have not dealt with what has happened until you guys started calling and I started listening to everybody's stories. And the range of human emotion, from pissed off to grief-stricken to we even had MAGA call and they're stoked, It's like it's this whole... It's a really big thing that happened, and we're not really dealing with it. And so when you guys are calling, it's making me reflect. And if I'm dealing with it, clearly I have not been. So the Substack post is a little bit of dealing with it.
The other night I had Tiffany. Tiffany was maybe 4/5 of the way done with it, and she read it to me, and she's crying while she's reading it, and I start choking up. I'm like, wow. And I encourage everybody to go to our Substack, tealandorangereport.com. Check it out. It's a fantastic piece, and you're going to be doing more of those.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I think you're a fantastic writer and you have an incredibly good voice, and so please check that out.
Well, thanks.
Well, yeah. as opposed to Nick.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Actually, Nick is just fantastic. I'm lucky to have two people who are fantastic writers be part of this show with me.
We're really great. We all keep each other in check about our shit,
Yeah, yeah. And what that is what makes us great is the things I'm not good at, you're good at, and it's vice versa. So, and I hope that comes through to the viewer.
Me too.
Tiffany, who is next?
So we have one more caller. This is Tina from Pennsylvania, and I just love her. I had to share it.
That sounds good.
Tina Martini from Pennsylvania. Hey, Trump, you're a piece of shit. How dare you treat an ally like Zelensky that way? You Putin-loving piece of crap. You make America look like shit. You're making us all look like shit. And we are going to be in war with Putin, not Ukraine. He's going to come after everybody, Putin is. You're a no good for nothing piece of shit who don't know nothing about nothing except grifting off of the American people. God, you're a nasty fucking man. Just a nasty monster. And I cannot even believe that you have the audacity to sit there and treat him that way and think that's good television. Oh, yeah, the whole world saw that. The whole world saw you act like an ass. That's what they saw. Not a tough guy, an ass-kissing for Putin. Because every word that came out of your mouth was Putin propaganda. So I guess you're on Putin's side, but the rest of us Americans are on Ukraine's side. Just so you know. Fuck off.
Wow.
Holy shit.
She makes me all warm and fuzzy inside.
Tina.
Let me pick myself up off the ground. First of all, Tina, I agree with everything you just said. Your anger is, we're the same person, Tina, and I didn't realize it. Wow. Thoughts?
Yeah. I'm blown away. He's, Trump is an asset of Vladimir Putin. Let's be honest. We all know it. It's like,
stop acting.
Yeah, stop acting. Like, we all know it, and he showed it, and it's fucking disgusting.
It's disgusting. And when he got called out for saying, "Do you still think Zelensky's a dictator?" and he goes, "I said that? I don't think I said that." Whatever the fuck it is he said. Like,
yeah.
It's just see how it just pulls it out of you? Just like, because it's just this gaslighting, lying. We all know, we can all see it. It's infuriating because we all know it's bullshit. Everyone knows.
Yeah. Well, like good 50%.
Yeah. I just don't know how you don't see it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I posted on Blue Sky, I put a picture of Zelensky and Trump, and I said one of these guys is a dictator and the other one is the president of a democracy. Guess which one is which, And I when I saw that, I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's embarrassing, man.
It is. And like she said, you're making us look like shit, dude.
God, Tiff, really quick, Tiff and I watched the Ken Burns docu-series called The War about World War II. And, those guys went to a horrifying war to defend democracy. And actually that's why those guys went to Vietnam as well, was to defend democracy. Ultimately that went haywire, but that's what we did in this country. We defended democracies across the world. We were the beacon of freedom. And did you hear Trump the other day too? He's like, they go, "Sir, do you still think Zelensky's a dictator?" And he paused for a second. He goes, "Ooh, did I say that? Did you see him say that?" Yeah. It's like, you fucking piece of shit. You said that, and now you're gonna act like, "Oh, dude, it's just like, oh, dude. I am Tina. I'm so fucking mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just
well, and she's right. The sad part is that these actions by Trump make it much more likely that that the United States is going to get pulled into some war, because Putin is a bloodthirsty ex-KGB agent who is he wants nothing more than the destruction of America, right? And he wants to invade Europe. And if he gets Ukraine, he's not going to stop there. No.
Why would he?
Why would he?
Yeah. And so, look out Poland, look out, there's lots of,
Exactly. Yep.
Well, guys, what a great round of calls. Those were fantastic.
Absolutely. Great calls.
Go to the tealandorangereport.com. Right now, there are extra calls to the People's Hotline that you can only get if you're a paid subscriber.
Yep. We're going to be doing more.
We're going to be doing a lot more of the extra calls on the show because we want to get a lot more of these out, and we want to get a lot more exclusive content out. And we really, really care about the people who support this show. And listen, some people can't do it, and we love you immensely. But for the folks who can chip in the $6 a month, we certainly appreciate it. And there's some extra content on there for you right now. And also, if you would like to be part of the show, call 503-212-4600. Again, that's 503-212-4600. If calling is not your thing, you can email us at shout@thedangerousones.com. That's SHOUT@thedangerousones.com. I am super excited to have all three of us back in a room again. I know this is our second show back, but we had a guest that time. It's nice to have this synergy back,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the show and have a great rest of your day.
The shot's been fired.